I'm Sumayya Sagir, presenting before you my dissertation on the topic Urban Resilience, Canal Rejuvenation and Water Management of Thevera Perandoor Canal. The unpredictable transition from predominantly rural to urban living over the years has brought risks to many parameters such as critical infrastructure, profound social instability, water crisis, etc. Cochin city has today grown into the commercial hub of Kerala with the establishment of industries and infrastructural development. But unfortunately, the unbalanced growth in population and development has led to the exploitation of land and resources, leaving behind a very high price to pay. The canal network of Kochi is one among the highly affected victims. The imbalance in climate change has left Kochi rain-rich but water-poor. The importance of canals has reached its pinnacle today. It's high time to awaken and bring awareness among the people. Design interventions to rehabilitate the canal can help in converting a potential nuisance into a valuable resource. The Thevera-Perandoor Canal is one among the vulnerably affected, flowing to the heart of the city. With which framing my central research question as what are the possible guidelines and water management methods that can be practiced for the revival of Thevera-Perandoor Canal with the following sub-research questions. The study therefore aims to identify the potential and formulate guidelines for rehabilitation of the Thevera-Perandoor Canal with the following objectives. The research explores different factors that can positively contribute to the remodeling of a canal through various methods. This report is just limited to a basic study on the entire canal network of Kochi. Details of other subcanals and connecting water bodies are outside the scope of the study. Since the study was carried out during the COVID-19 pandemic, there are constraints regarding social interaction and live case studies. Outlining the literature review, following are the topics covered: water-sensitive urban design, water urbanism, community and urban rehabilitation, waterfront development and allied activities, functions of canals, and water networks of Kochi, with the following books and authors referred. WSUD covers the idea of integrating water cycle management with the built environment through planning and urban design, with their parameters as shown in the figure. WSUD measures and solutions are also addressed along with best management practices for its optimal application. Water urbanism specifically refers to more systematic and comprehensive integration of waterscapes with ideas such as water resistant and water coherent urbanism. The integrated approaches such as living with water and image of the water city are also studied. Community and urban rehabilitation studies the necessity of community participation for the revival of the canal. Other significant viewpoints such as cultural, social, economic, and urban aspects are also covered. Waterfront development and allied activities are studied to develop a basic understanding on topics such as functions of waterfront areas, principles of sustainable waterfront, and green infrastructure with examples of various waterfront cities. Functions of the canals covers mainly the topics based on sectional properties and characteristics of the canals. And finally, Canal Network of Kochi introduces various tidal canals along with water bodies and water supply, topography, sewage system, and effects of development. To infer, the literature review identifies the importance of water in various domains for integrated approach with natural force of water and civilizing character of the cities. The idea of systematic waterscapes with urban and suburban fabrics to produce water-centered environments are studied. The inclusiveness of cultural, social, economic, and urban aspects along with technological interventions are also considered. The negligence of water as a potential asset is identified from the Cochin Canal networks, thereby raising concern on the necessity of revival of the canal for its utility and benefits. The study intends to develop a conceptual framework and revival guidelines to bind the perforation between rapid urbanization and water-sensitive planning with a pilot study on Thevera-Perandoor Canal. The methodology derived to achieve the aim is as following. The study is initially divided into two: the site-specific study and the literature study. The literature study consists of three categories. First one being literature review as already explained. Second one, a meso-level study for an understanding of canal networks in Kochi and their prominence. The third part is a literature case study on two water-based projects, Rotterdam and Alapura. Further, site-specific study of Thevera Perandoor Canal with a secondary study of data analysis on topography, hydrology, water quality, etc. A preliminary study with site visits, observations, and photo documentation, summarizing to identification of problem fields and potential analysis. Both the studies proceeds to an analysis to derive different variables and critical aspects, further leading to a comparative analysis, and finally formulating guidelines and conclusion. Moving on to the results, the first case study is on Rotterdam under the concept Living with Water City. Rotterdam has 60% of the urban area below the sea level with fluctuating tidal actions, heavy downpours and droughts. The city has used climate change to its advantage with the concept of living with water and creating Spawn City. The key shocks and stress faced by the city are as shown. The ambition of the city is to form a Water City 2035, exploring the possibilities to enlarge the enjoyable qualities of water through 5 perspectives. The water plan of Rotterdam has innovative adaptive methods such as permanent pavings, water plazas, multifunctional car parks, and floating communities. The second case study is Alapura Rejuvenating the Lifeline. The study is mainly based on the initiative Canal P, a mobilized effort to clean the canals, which was a joint intervention with the theme Rejuvenation of Alapura Canals through Decentralized Solid and Liquid Waste Management, a vision to clean and rejuvenate 14 canal sheds. The key shocks and stress faced by the town are as shown. Few of the methods adopted to rejuvenate the lifeline are cleaning and desilting, providing vertical and horizontal screens, protection of embankments, identification of hotspots, etc. The project highly encourages community participation for locals as the custodians of the natural heritage. The ambition of the project is to bring back vibrant life to the water edge along with efficient water transportation. Briefing on the site-specific study, the 9.91 km long Thevera Perandoor Canal runs through the diverse edges from thickly populated low-income locality to high-maintenance housing society. The character of the canal varies from point to point. The site-specific study was carried out by dividing the entire canal stretch into 7 sections. Observational analysis, mapping, photo documentation and interaction with stakeholders were carried out to understand critical aspects and the challenges. An example of the analysis table formulated for section 3 is shown. Questionnaires were used to analyze various aspects related to the improper management of the canal system and functioning of the seaway system. Various criterions analyzed water supply, solid waste management, liquid waste management, consequences faced due to the improper maintenance of the canal, presumed reasons for the dilapidated condition, and local awareness on the canal. Further, the responses were graphically formulated and inferred. The discussion chapter is categorized under 5 topics, which summarizes the understanding and analysis derived from the above studies to finally arrive at the intention of the research, with number 1, water management and pollution control as key challenge. This study consists of SWOT analysis under the topics water supply system, solid waste management, sewerage system, and stormwater drainage. Further, guidelines are proposed to tackle the challenge observed. Number 2, forming livable floodplain. Few of the initiatives undertaken by the government authorities to prevent waterlogging in the city are provision of desiltation, reconstruction of few culverts and KWA pipelines, provisions of high-capacity pumps, and project operation breakthrough. Also, in relation to large-scale infrastructural measures, the idea of retain, divert, and discharge are introduced. By designing retention spaces that can tackle sudden flooding, diverting water through subdrains and drains before reaching flood-prone zones, enhancing the ability of canals that can help large discharge of water during heavy rainfall. One method of heavy discharge is the 4-domain approach as shown in the figure. Number 3, encouraging stakeholder participation. The community molds the water edge. Proper awareness can help in creating adaptive style that transform the community into a resilient environment. Number 4, responsive edges to waterways. This discusses the idea of developing activities along the canal network that can help in reviving social interaction and sensitivity between the canal edge as well as within. The transformation from waterways to road networks has affected the morphology of the buildings along the edges, with backyards turning to front yards. Creating interactive spaces and recreational spaces are imperative for the revival of the canal. And finally, number 5, canal as the image of the city. This idea is centered on the concept of living with water harmoniously to make the city coherent socially, environmentally, and economically. The different elements used to analyze in the context of Thevera Perandoor Canal are imageability, transparency, accessibility, and connectivity. To conclude, the resilience of any city is a function of its ecological and economic system. The key baselines derived from the study that determine rehabilitation are technology, institution, governance and finance, capacity enhancement, and community awareness and inclusiveness. The study recommends the idea to develop a sensitive approach towards the canals with water integrated development. The rehabilitation of Thevera Perandoor Canal can aid other CODs to form a resilience.